of Assembly, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, has been impeached, with Honorable Mojisola Miranda representing Apapa State Constituency 1 as new Speaker. Now, Monday's impeachment by members of the Lagos State House of Assembly came after they accused him of multiple statutory and financial infractions. Obasa was subsequently replaced with his deputy, Lambert Miranda. Now, Mr. Miranda, who represents Apapa Constituency 1, was also a former chief whip of the House. The removal came days after media reports of how Obasa oversaw the withdrawal of 43.5 billion naira for backup vehicles for lawmakers, as well as other controversial activities. The impeached speaker is believed to be currently on holiday in Atlanta. The 52-year-old Obasa was first elected speaker on June 8, 2015, resuming office alongside former one-term Governor Akiwumi Ambade. And now to unpack this, we are joined by political commentator Jide Johnson. Jide Johnson, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. So let's start by asking what the key political implications of the Lagos State Assembly's decision to impeach its speaker are. How might this affect the political landscape of the state in both the short and long term?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. Well, the implication of this is that the speaker that has been newly elected is now from Lagos Central. The governor is from Lagos Central, and I'm sure that different types of permutation will be put in place to address that. But the speaker impeachment should not come as a surprise to any watcher or observer of Lagos political movement. You recall what the speaker said during the budget presentation by the governor for 2025 appropriation bill, and then the speaker kept the governor waiting, and then the statement which he made, which he spoke about him better qualified to become the governor than all others that have occupied that position, I think it was a political misstep, and I saw that as him stepping on banana peel. You recall the famous banana peel that many Senate presidents stepped on when Obasanjo was president between 1999 and 2007, whereby we have different people becoming the Senate president over time. So I think that particular statement was the death knell for the speaker when it comes to whether he will stay on that job or he will not stay on that job. Another factor to my mind is the issue of local government election in Lagos State. What will be the status of the SCD? I think that the speaker quickly rushed the review of that bill leading to the establishment of local council development area without engaging with major stakeholders, getting their involvement and getting their buy-in. I think being the speaker for more than 2 terms, in my own mind, seems to have gotten into the psychology, the psyche of the speaker, thinking that is bigger than all other stakeholders in the states. And the implication of it is that it will keep everybody on their toes. And like somebody made a post, he said, with one shot, the speaker is removed, and with one shot, one of the gubernatorial candidates for 2027 is also removed. Just one slingshot, it has taken away, it has achieved two desired goals for some people.
So, Mr. Johnson, to what extent do you think party loyalty played a role in the impeachment process? Was this impeachment driven by internal party politics, or was it primarily a legal or ethical matter?
Well, compared to other states, I think the speakers of Lagos tend to enjoy longer stay in office, and then they tend to enjoy. Look, for you to become the speaker, whether at the National Assembly or the State House of Assembly, you must understand how to play the internal politics. And I think that it is the internal politics within the party that has consumed them, this present speaker. And then on a personal note, I recall on this program, I've said one time that I visited the State House of Assembly last year, and then it was like a premises that is under siege. For you can't access. You call the State House of Assembly to be the People's Assembly. You and I cannot ordinarily access that assembly. Since he became the speaker, it was much more easier for you to enter a military barrack than for you to enter the Lagos State House of Assembly. I can state it for a statement of fact, because something which I experienced. I used to experience going there before he became the speaker, and the experience totally changed when he became the speaker. So I think the speaker became high-handed and driven much more by the power that comes to him, because he was the first speaker to have won election for 3 terms as a speaker.
Okay. So what impact will the impeachment have on the legislative functions of the Lagos State House of Assembly?
Well, the legislature is like soldier go, soldier come. It's like replacing a brigade commander of a brigade command. So legislative activities will continue. You could see that there is no vacuum. There's no vacuum rather. As soon as the speaker was impeached, a new speaker was sworn in. So business will continue as usual. So as far as I'm concerned, it's got into the dustbin of history. It won't affect anything. Every other lawmaker that are with the speaker before will shift their loyalty to the new speaker that has been sworn in. And on a personal note, that will be the first female speaker. The first female speaker that will be elected in Lagos State, and it will appeal and assuage the feelings of women that have been clamoring for more inclusion in the management of things, particularly in Lagos State. Don't forget that the governor, it's a male, the deputy governor is a male. I recall towards 2023 election, there were moves by people clamoring that, oh, women are not highly, and they are not highly represented in the scheme of things in Lagos State. And I think this will assuage to the feeling, and it will play to that, and it will address that particular problem. So I've seen this speaker coming to stay.
Well, Mr. Jide Johnson, I want to say thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You're welcome.